welcome back to the Nulyweds channel. It is Vlogmas, so Christmas jumpers abound. We are going to talk about how to plan multiple wedding events today, and I've been really interested in this recently because for the first time we are actually planning extra wedding events, but not the wedding. So we do have a couple next year who already had all of their wedding completely perfected. It was unfortunately postponed, but they decided when they did the postponement that they wanted to add some extra wedding planning events and they wanted our help. So they got in contact with me and Inesh, and we have been planning their rehearsal lunch and their beach day the day after. It's been really super interesting, really fun actually. I've always been a bit of a purist and just done weddings when I could, but this has been really fun to do something a little bit different. So I'm really interested in extra wedding events at the moment. Let's talk about it. Here are my 3 tips to planning extra wedding events. So the first tip is that you don't want to take up all of your guests' time. This might hurt a little bit to hear that, but even though you are the host when they come out to this new country, people do want to explore on their own. They really do want to have a chance to go out and do their own thing. So you need to be mindful of how much of their time you're actually using up over the weekend or couple of days that you are planning events around. So for example, with the couple that is planning a rehearsal lunch, they are doing a rehearsal lunch because they wanted it to be short and they wanted their guests to have the opportunity to do something else for dinner. That could be going to the theatre, could be going to a different town and staying overnight. It could be all sorts of stuff, right? In that situation, you don't want to block up their entire diary. It is their holiday too. So when you're planning your extra wedding events, just keep that in mind that you don't want to completely hog their schedule. My second tip for planning extra wedding events is to think about how familiar your guests are with each other. If you're 2 families and your 2 families know each other really well, maybe you'll do Thanksgiving all together, or Christmas or Hanukkah or anything, they just do it all together, you celebrate together habitually, then you are able to do certain events that don't require so much ice breaking. If your guests are kind of from different factions, so maybe they're from different parts of the world, they don't know each other, there may be a little bit of awkwardness and stuff, then you may want to do something that requires an activity, so something that pulls focus. So have that in mind. Have an activity that will kind of pull focus and bring people together as a bonding experience. And one of my couples is going to do a cooking class with all of their guests, which is such a cool idea. So they're going to go to the market and buy their fresh produce and cook it, learn how to cook Portuguese cuisine all together. That's a great icebreaker. Within that vein, wine tasting, cheese making, jam making, pottery things as well. Making pottery is really super fun. So having an activity that kind of pulls focus can be good to break the ice with people that don't know each other. If you do all know each other, then a simple drinks, a simple dinner, all of those things will be totally fine. Everyone is already comfortable with each other. My third tip for planning extra wedding events or a wedding of multiple days is to budget for the extra days completely separately from your main wedding. Your main wedding is going to be the big kahuna, right? It's going to be the big budget that draws in most things. Your extra events need to be out of that main budget, really. You need to think of them as a separate entity altogether. That is how I tend to plan the weddings that we do. Extra events should also be budgeted separately from each other. So for example, with that rehearsal lunch and the beach day, they have 2 separate budgets. They are not connected. Obviously there is an overall total, but they have been budgeted and itemized in a different way. And that is really important. And so you can see exactly where you are with all of your wedding events. I hope that this video was really helpful for you. I've really enjoyed chatting with you today. Click the subscribe button for more, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.